Recently, Squarespace has taken the decision to retire a ton of their font library. Now, initially, this caused quite a stir. Maybe that's a bit of an understatement, but the thinking behind it, from their perspective, is they want a more widely usable font library. So basically, they don't want to be at the behest of, let's say, an Adobe license or Adobe contract, and one day that can just be taken away. They want something that people can rely on. And bear in mind, to be fair, these fonts have been in place for like, I don't know, 10, 20 years. So it's not like they've been unreliable and chopping and changing. But moving forward, they want a library that will always be there and people can rely on. So one way that they are changing things or making it easier for the user is they're going to have a font upload path. So if you have your own font, you can just upload the font file and you're good to go. But one other thing that they're doing is, you've probably seen it if you're a Squarespace user, is they've sent out an email notification that says, hey, your site is having a deprecated font or something like that. I don't know the exact words, but basically we're retiring your font. What's going to happen is, and then they explain. So what they're doing is they're going to replace your font, so your current font, they're going to replace it with something similar. Now, people may read this and think, oh, so I have no say in what Squarespace changed my font to. That's not necessarily true. So what we can do is we can override this and we can pick our own font from all the new fonts that Squarespace has released. So I'm going to show you how to do it really quickly. In your site, all you have to do is hit up Site Styles, which is here, or you can hit the paintbrush up here. Then you're going to go into fonts. So you click the arrow here, not this one, because that's just like a quick picks. So you click the arrow and then you want to go into font packs. You can pick from a ton of different font packs here. If you want to go a step further, which most people realistically they're going to do, is you can go by headings, paragraphs, buttons, and miscellaneous. So what we'll do is we'll change the heading style. So we click headings. You see the font up here. We click on this. And then what we can do is we can scroll through all of the fonts that we have available to us. So let's say this font is being depreciated or deprecated. I don't know the exact wording. It was all legal jargon. But essentially, it's being retired. So we want to match this. Or maybe this is the opportunity to change up the styling a little bit. So you can say, okay, do I want something serif? Do I want something sans serif? Do I want display? So what I'm going to do is, let's imagine my business is in a competition for the world's worst font. So I'm just going to pick the absolute worst font. That's pretty cool. Let's go down to, that one's a rough one. How about Lily Script? Even that's not too bad. Maybe Squarespace has got rid of all the crazy fonts. Wonder what lives right at the bottom. That one looks a bit... see, it's not bad. Okay, that's pretty naff. So you can say, okay, we're going to a rebrand exercise. You can pick whatever font. If it's in here, then it's in the new library and you can rely on it. So you pick out your font, you're happy. What you can do now is you can edit it. Obviously, a normal font would have different weightings. So let's pick, we use Montserrat because I know that has a few different weights. So classic font, style, you can say normal or italicized, and then the weight, Montserrat goes all the way from 100 to 900. So you can pick a weight that you think works well. You can change your line heights. You can change your letter spacing. You have basically full control over how those fonts display. Now, I'm not a spokesperson for Squarespace, but I will say I think this is a positive move going forward, because obviously now you can have your own fonts. Also, you can have a much more reliable font library that your clients or you won't have to always chop and change. So short-term pain for long-term gain. That's how I would frame it. Hopefully you found this useful. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and hit subscribe. And if you want me to build your Squarespace library, you can get in touch using the links in the description.